State versus Michael Short, 17-319. Charge is criminal conspiracy, unlawful use of communication device.
May I approach, Your Honor?
May.
Morning.
Mr. Short, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you're appearing here for an arraignment. How does he plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll enter the plea of not guilty. And when will we be having pre-trials?
October 26th.
Your next appearance will be October 26th at 10 o'clock. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Let me stand aside. State versus Mary Jackson, 17-316. Charged with burglary and theft. This is for an arraignment.
Judge will waive reading of the information in her plea of not guilty. We would like to ask that she be brought before Judge Webb next week for her bond issue, if there is one at that point in time.
We'll enter a plea of not guilty. She'll appear before Judge Webb on August 17th. Anything further?
Not today, Your Honor. She has other pending cases that we'll address at a different time.
Okay. That's all we can do today, ma'am. Thank you. State versus James Davis. Charged with burglary and theft, 17-318. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. And is he here for an arraignment?
He is, Your Honor. We'll waive reading of the information in her plea of not guilty. Judge, I spoke with Mr. Davis this morning. He is wanting to get this matter resolved quickly. If we could have him reappear next week in front of Judge Webb.
Very well.
I believe
Order
it-
the court.
I believe his bond is currently $10,000. We had talked about addressing that today, but in speaking with the prosecutor, it's my understanding that that won't be reduced any further. And so we'll leave it that way at least for the next week, Judge.
Very well. Be the order of the court. You may stand aside. Thank you, sir. State versus Kelly Howard, 17-317. Charged with possession of controlled substances, paraphernalia, driving on a suspended license. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Let's see what he's appearing here for.
Judge, this should be an arraignment.
Very well. How does he plead?
Not guilty.
We'll enter the plea of not guilty. We'll have a pre-trial on October 26th, 10 o'clock or soon thereafter as we can get to it.
Very well. I'll see what I can do. Judge, there's a parole hold at this point in time. I've told Mr. Howard to call our office once that's resolved to discuss any bond issues if that comes up.
Okay. That'll be all we can do today, sir. Thank you. State versus Tabitha, or I'm sorry, Talitha? Is that the way you say that? Talitha? Talitha, sorry. Jacobsen, Talitha Jacobsen, 17-315. Delivery of controlled substances, unlawful use of communication devices, other drug-related charges. Now I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. How does she plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
We'll enter the plea of not guilty. Reappear on October 26th, 10 o'clock for a pretrial hearing.
Could we be heard on bond, Your Honor?
Maybe.
Judges, currently, Ms. Jacobsen's bond is set at $35,000. In meeting with her at the jail, she informed me that she's lived in Mountain Home for the past 2 years. She has worked at Burger King in the recent past and does have ties there to get that job back if she's able to bond out. She does not have any prior felony convictions. Those are the things I can offer the court today to ask for a bond reduction, and we feel like $5,000 is appropriate to secure her appearance before this court.
Your Honor, this young lady is charged with 9 felonies, the most serious of which is selling methamphetamine, selling LSD, being in possession of defaced firearms. Judge, she's got a $35,000 bond. I'm not sure, I don't think she's gonna run off. I'm just surprised that someone 26 engaging in that activity, and I'd like to keep her from doing that again.
Where will she live if she's released?
Judge, she does live here in Mountain Home. She gave me the address. I did not write the address down, but she does have a residence here in Mountain Home.
Does she have 5 children?
Can you hear that, Talitha?
What was that?
Do you have 5 children?
Yes, I do.
Where are the children at?
Where are your children now?
We're with my husband.
Does he live here in Mountain Home?
He lives in West Plains.
Gainesville?
West Plains.
West Plains, okay.
The children are with her husband. She lives with her boyfriend.
Correct.
15,000. That's all we can do today, ma'am. You may stand aside. State versus Jamie Goober, 17-314. It's like drug paraphernalia, tampering with physical evidence, endangering the welfare of a minor. Sir, you say you bring home $40 an hour on your application here. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, and I'm working.
What did he say?
When he's working.
I'm going to just appoint the public defender for arraignment today. We'll take up attorney status later. How does he plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor, and he
We'll enter a plea of not guilty. And I'll schedule him to appear before Judge Webb on the 17th, August 17th.
Judge, he has.
9:30.
I'm sorry. He has requested that I ask for a bond reduction for him. He's charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. That's the only felony charge. He indicates to me that he has no prior felony charges. That he's lived here for his whole life, and that he will have a hard time coming up with some cash to make a bond. But in the event that he could, we would request a $1,500 bond to assure his appearance before this court.
Judge, he's charged with 2 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia. He's charged with tampering. I guess that was more of a resisting. He's also charged with endangering the welfare of a minor in the 3rd degree. I guess this occurred around his children. His bond is at $5,000, Your Honor. That is not excessive.
Where did you say? Did you say where he lives?
He lives here in Mountain Home, Judge, and I don't have an address for him. Do we have his yellow paper? He lives in Midway, Judge, on a county road in Midway.
I'll go with 1,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State versus Joshua Thompson, 17-312. Sir, I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you. You appear for arraignment. How does he plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll enter the plea of not guilty. Should reappear before Judge Webb on August 17th.
Judge, I'm not sure if he has a bond right now. We'd like to ask the court to set a bond for him. I think there's a probation violation that's been filed.
Your Honor, he has a bond of $2,500. However, they're about to file a revocation on him, and they've got another one to file on him because I think they already had one filed on him for some non-compliance, and then they're refiling this based on his new charge. This gentleman is a habitual offender. And bond of $2,500 is holding.
He says he's not.
He says he's not.
That's what he said. At any rate, he's got a
He
bond.
may not be.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may stand aside, sir. Thank you.
Josh, what happened? You have a bond, But what the probation is telling the prosecuting attorney is that they're going to file a new petition to revoke. So if you make that bond, it could be that they would just arrest you again, but on the new revocation. Judge Webb will be here next week, and you'll be brought in front of him, and everything should be filed by then. Okay? Okay.
Thank you.
State versus Cynthia Pyatt, 17-313, furnishing prohibited articles, delivery of controlled substances, criminal conspiracy. She also has 17-309. Not sure what the charge is on that. Neglect of a minor resulting in delinquency, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, distribution of controlled substances to a minor, delivery of controlled substances. Well, appointed a public defender's office to represent you. You appear for an arraignment. How does she plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Will enter the plea of not guilty. We'll have a pretrial on October 26th at 10 o'clock.
Judge, she did want me to ask you, I think
I don't know if a probation violation has been filed yet.
It'll be filed today, Your Honor.
Okay. Judge, what we're going to do is, at some point, probably request that this case be transferred to Division 4 because there's 2 co-defendants, and so we're going to try to separate them out.
She pled in front of me.
For the revocation?
Yeah, I remember taking her plea.
Okay. If
We'll get the revocation set as quickly as possible. I think that's here.
we'll wait to just address bond then, Judge, until the probation violation is actually filed.
Okay.
What can you
That's all
tell
we can
me?
do today, ma'am. You may stand aside.
Before she leaves, Judge, can you tell me what her bond is now? Do we know that, Carrie?
$45,000.
45?
25.
25.
Did they not?
Okay, do I have a probation hold still?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
Can you hear me, ma'am?
yes.
Okay. That's all we can do today. Thank you.
No, I do have a bond?
You do have a bond, $25,000.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. State versus Gary Hargett, 17-303. Charge of sexual assault. Looks like he's been arraigned.
He's probably appearing today for the purposes of getting on a scheduling order, Judge.
Okay, let's see. All right,
It's been done.
we've scheduled it out.
Yeah, his pretrial's October 5th.
October what? October 5th is his pretrial. Anything else?
Judge, it's my understanding that a probation violation is about to be filed, so we'll address that and bond on that once that's done.
Okay,
Nothing else today, Judge.
all right. That's all we can do, sir. You may stand aside. State versus James Capel, 17-299. Charged with possessing firearms for certain persons, criminal use of a prohibited weapon. Sir, I've appointed public defender's office to represent you. You've already entered a plea of not guilty. And when is his next appearance? You?
October 5th, Your Honor, for pretrial.
Okay, pretrial on October 5th. Anything else?
No, Judge, there's a parole hold, so there are no issues on bond today.
Okay. That's all we can do today, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Bailey, is there any way I can get discovery on this case?
Sure, as soon as I get it, I'll be over to talk to you about it, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thomas Galuzzo the fourth, 17-275, which is drug case. This also has 16-305, a revocation.
Judge, discovery is going well in this case. I believe that we have everything that we need. Do we have a date for his revocation hearing? Is it supposed to be today?
I don't know. Let me look. We do, there's a date that says it's scheduled, but it doesn't say when. No, it's scheduled for today, I see it now. Today's the, we'll transport you to the courthouse, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anything to be done on Mr. Teakinchuck's case?
There's not today, Your Honor. Again, this is another relatively new case. We're asking, the defense is asking that his revocations track with the new charges so that we can fully flesh those out and prepare his defense in those. I think the basis for the revocations are the new charges, Your Honor.
We've got 2 petitions to revoke. I don't want to track this with his new case. If the defense needs 30 days to get ready for us to revoke this gentleman, that'll be fine. I understand that maybe there may be some complexity since we've got 2 of them, but I don't want to do that.
I don't need 30 days. I mean, we can do it today if we're going to do it. That's my preference, is to run them with the new cases.
Well, do you need additional time?
Judge, considering, that I don't have any discovery on the new charges, I think it's only fair to him and to me to know the basis of the allegations other than just the police report. I don't think that's too much to ask. I think if we want to do it within 30 days or at 30 days, we could definitely be prepared. I think Carrie's probably got information to give me today even on it, so.
Judge, if you'll set it off for a month, that's reasonable. We just under a time limit. We have to.
But they've waived the 60-day hearing requirement.
So we're at June 29th, so you set it in October or September if we find
His
it.
pretrial scheduled September 21st if you want to schedule.
That'll be perfect.
That's fine. September 21st. This is 17-264, 17-06, 14-95, State versus Mitchell Teakinchuck. That's all we can do today, sir. Thank you. State versus Cody Haynes, 17-255. Theft of property, criminal trespass. Also has 17-183. Not sure what that is.
Judge, these are new cases as well. We have a scheduling order issued. He's here for reappearance today only. Looks like I am in receipt of discovery in 17-255. And we'll need to get some discovery in 17-183, but they're scheduled out and we'll move forward according to the scheduling order.
Very well. We'll leave it as scheduled. That's all we can do today, sir. Thank you. Robert Whitfield, 17-211. Charged with possessing controlled substances, paraphernalia.
Judge, I'm in receipt of a plea offer from the state that I need to discuss with Mr. Whitfield, and we'll get over and do that before the plea deadline. Otherwise, there's no action to take today.
Very well, we'll leave it as scheduled. Thank you, sir. That's all today. State versus Brandt Atherton, 17-209. Charge of criminal attempt to do something in residential burglary, sexual assault.
Judge, we have a pretrial hearing in September. I believe I'm in receipt of all of the discovery the state intends to use as of this week, so I'll be over to speak with Mr. Atherton and hopefully have a plea offer before the October 5th deadline. Otherwise, there's no action to take today.
Very well. That's all we can do today, sir. Thank you, sir. You may stand aside. State versus Amelia Getaway, 17-311. She also has 17-18, I'm sorry, 17-202.
Judge, there is an active alias warrant for Ms. Getaway out of Judge Webb's court. We would ask that she be brought back next week to appear on that warrant, and for the charges that are pending. I think they're both in that division already.
One is in Division 3 for an arraignment.
Oh, the new one, there's a new one?
Yes. Let's see. Possession of controlled substances, possession of drug paraphernalia.
She is going to be a co-defendant with Mr. Thompson, I believe. So I've seen that affidavit.
Will enter plea of not guilty.
Do you have a case number on
It is 17-311. We'll have her appear for a pretrial on October 26, 10 o'clock or soon thereafter as we can get to it.
Judge, if you would, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Thank you.
We'll have her here before Judge Webb next week in 17202, August 17th, 9:30. You may stand aside now. Thank you. State versus Brandy Sheppard, 17181. Charged with possession of controlled substance and some driving offenses. Brandy Sheppard. Let's see, is this scheduled?
Judge, it is. She had an FTA issued in late July. The plea deadline is in September. Speaking with her bondsman, she missed court in July because of illness. He is willing to stay on the bond, as is the signer of the bond. We would ask that the court allow her to be released on her previous bond.
Did she contact the court when she couldn't make it, or your office?
Judge, I don't show any communication to our office about that. Of course, we can provide documentation if that's available for the court's review.
Judge, this lady was missing for 3 weeks, and she showed up when we arrested her. She didn't turn herself in, she didn't call.
I believe she actually did turn
We
herself in.
We actually issued her,
Did-
well, she turned herself in when it was convenient to her, Judge.
She turned herself in last night, Judge, when she knew that the warrant was out there.
Give me some proof of whatever medical problem she had. Take a look at it.
Will do. Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all we can do right now, ma'am. Thank you. State versus Zachary Giltner, 17153. Charged with delivery of controlled substances, with unlawful use of communication device. Several charges.
Judge, there's no action to take in Zach's case today. If we can get it resolved before his trial, we'll have him put back on the docket.
All right. State versus Gary Palmer, 17121. Possession of controlled substances, revocation case. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Let's see. It's like, is this an arraignment?
I think so, Your Honor. It might be an arraignment on a new charge and a revocation.
I'll schedule him to appear, enter plea of not true, and schedule him to appear before Judge Webb on the 17th at 9:30. Anything further?
Judge, Mr. Palmer wanted me to request a bond for him in these cases. I don't know what his current bond is on the other charges, or if his bondsman's willing to stay on those. I guess that would be a threshold issue to determine. I'm sorry, the 17121's already been adjudicated. Is that right?
Yeah, both, I think both
Oh,
of these are
okay.
arraignments.
Okay. He does have a new charge as well, is what I'm being told, in Division 4.
Well, just have him appear before Judge Webb.
For the bond issue?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.